many years, my life has been with the students, and I continue to be with the students. Now, that was the Vice Chancellor of high profile at one of the best Indian universities. And we have seen, it's no exaggeration, to say that we have seen the barren land with hardly any grass on it. And in no time, even a year of his taking of office, that he made it a beautiful place for academic excellence. It's no exaggeration. We have seen him growing, and he has made it. And the success story was that he was student friendly. That he took every care to make every student important and made every student to grow under the shades of generosity, excellence, benevolence, and more than that, the fatherly attitude. It's no exaggeration. Now, why I make this remark is that the students feel happy when the teachers are with them as friends and be with them, give them the companionship and grow with them. And we also grow with you, because if you are techno-savvy today, it's all because of you. Many students come to us and help us. So we all grow as friends, and then when it comes to responsibility and when it comes to see you growing, we stand at the lower floor of the ladder and we want every one of you to reach the top. And with this, I would like to introduce my topic on two grounds. I am basically from the discipline of economics, but I have done my research in the interdisciplinary study of law and economics, and that is why it has brought me here to the School of Law. Now, as I am talking to the children of Taiwan, very close proximity to China, and coming from India, the two great giants which the world is going to face very short period of time, emerging as great powers vis-a-vis the capitalist powers of the West. It is no exaggeration to say that. When your country started with the globalized business model in the late 1970s, we started off with the globalized trend in the 1990s. And since then, there is no looking back. We have been growing. But the question always comes to my mind, are we growing or are we developing? Because the economists would always try to find the difference between growth and development. Both the economies have been growing. They have been showing from 3% or 4% growth rate to 10% growth rate, which is something that's unimaginable and posing a challenge to the capitalist tendencies of the West. But are we developing? Now, what are the indicators of development? The mortality rate, the infant mortality rate, the child mortality rate, the maternal mortality rate, the environment standards of the economy, the labor standards of the economy, and the health of the economy, the education profile of the economy. Now, all these contribute to the development of the economy because it is broad-based and it leads the growth of the economy, a continuous process. So therefore, how much we have to develop in order to sustain the growth? This is where Professor Ranbir Singh made it very clear that the lawyer should emerge as socially relevant to the society. Apart from your professional role, how relevant you are to the society and sensitize yourself to the society's needs are more important as you grow with the knowledge and profession. So this is where my subject becomes relevant, the cultural economics of book. As I know that this institution is specializing on the intellectual property rights as well, mind you children, that we are all coming from the economies of the world, the Asian economies, where we are proud of the rich culture and heritage of our respective countries. The hospitality that you extend speaks of the continuation of this behavior of our society down the ages, from the time immemorial. It has been imparted on you by generation to generation, by your grandparents, your parents, and the society in which all of you were born. But we cannot remain a traditional society endlessly because we have to run with the forces around us. So we are going into cultural confrontation and cultural confluence. You are entering into an era of a capitalist society and a capitalist lifestyles too. But when you enter into this cultural confluence, you also confront the culture. Because your culture, your attitude, your brought up confronts the lifestyles of the West. So there comes the need of the hour. How do you sustain yourself? How far you can go or how far you can stop? So where you should stop and where you can move ahead. This is what lies in our own selves. So therefore, we have to carve out a limit for ourselves, an invisible ring around ourselves. And since we see how much we can accept the external influence into our society and what kind of external influence would be beneficial to us and what kind of external influence would be harmful not only to you as individuals but also to the society at large and more so to the economic growth of your own country. I would like to re-emphasize that it is not the individuals who are going to be affected by these external confrontations of culture, but it is the economy itself who is going to be affected in due course of time because it has a snowballing effect. So therefore, why we have to take cognizance of culture? Because culture today is not to be considered as an aesthetic pleasure, something that is contributing to your aesthetic pleasure, something that is contributing to your innate happiness in life, but that is going to create an economy for yourself to live a very cultured and developing society. So this is where I would like to expand on my idea of what is cultural economics is all about. Because while the economics or the economists today are emphasizing on the material growth of the economy, the exponential growth of the country, I am talking about the situation where culture should motivate the growth. So maybe some people would say that I am looking backwards. I am going to the roots of the world, why the tree has blown and grown and it is blossoming. No, if the tree is allowed to sustain, if the tree is to blossom forever, the roots are very important. So talking about economics, because economics is the basis of the understanding of law. Law is an instrument of social change, where economics is the mother of law, where economics tries to explain to you the welfare necessity of using or the usage of the law. This is where I would like to say that economics is the basis of the understanding of the instrument of law. Now, coming to economics, fundamentally, is that one of the great exponents of economics has said that economics is the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. I repeat, economics is the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. So the ordinary business of life of an individual evolves out of his culture, evolves out of the environment in which he is brought up, the habitat in which he lives, and therefore he has every reason to grow out of that environment, and he has every responsibility to give back his growth or whatever he has taken out of the society to give back to the society. And to give back to the society, he has to sensitize himself not only to the situations of the development around or the environment around him, but also to the culture of the society in which he has evolved himself. So this is where again I reiterate that why I should speak about the folklore and the culture. Now, a folk culture may be thought of as a common way of life which characterizes some of all the people of villages, towns and living area. As I told you earlier, that folklore is not just an artistic action, it involves a creativity and aesthetic response, it has a cultural and social base, and like any form, and one of the forms of folklore, folk life is folklore, and more so it is expressed in the performing art. Now, I would like to just